We are coming into a light activation hologram connection to a system that's calculated and modified through a new moon. It's surfacing on high levels of divisions. It's very, very powerful how we're coming into a new behavior of a new line, of a new communication signal. It activates its core system to its gravity positions of its Earth, traction positions. So better communications, like I said, with the moon, the sun, and the Earth. You have to understand your triangles and your connections to your tetrahedrons. You can go to my TikTok. I'm placing a lot of platforms, a lot of connections to a lot of surfacing engines. We become our own connection to our information cycles, our information systems, comes into all modifications and locations to, you start off with the radioactive position and then you come into the gamma. So that's the fifth dimensional line through communication. So you understand your line signal channels to its operation system, because the moon is coming into a new connection of a space station position of a new line signal that's going to traction locations to your timing positions of space. Think about it, space and time. So it's a new magnetic connection. I sent a link last night. I was on the rooftop and I lit up the sky, magnetic discharge. It's really powerful how we do these things. People are asking me, basically, do you see lights coming out of your hands? It's a yes. It's a connected to sacred breath. The sacred breath is the code. Okay, it's the connection to God, the level system of shapes. So you look at the shape of a cloud, and you have to understand how the portal is set up, how it's connected to line signals and attractions to all different divisions of dimensions. So you have to understand what you're communicating with and what dimension of time, of space, are you connected to its magnetic fields. Okay, you're coming to higher levels of higher entity force systems, how to really light up the sky. And that's what I did last night. It's very, very powerful. It connects in all ways and forms. So it's understanding that you see things come out in your physical system. You can see the electrical lights. All you got to do is focus on it and know what you want to do, right? So you got two hand formation systems, okay? So you have to understand the weather patterns and its connection to the moon and to the sun. And everything through the atmosphere connects into the center position. So it lines signals back and forth. So you're connecting to the center position, which is my telepathy from one to another. Dana, how's it going? Hopefully you watched that video yesterday. Put it on TikTok. Everybody's blown away. The one thing I look forward to is getting up in the morning, is having my coffee, having my desayuno, which is breakfast, and drinking my water and seeing you guys. You know, the videos go a long way. They help you in all ways and forms. Hopefully it helps your channels. Hopefully it helps your lights. But the magnetic system of the connections of the moon is changing a new behavior of a light system. We're coming into a new moon of light, of a hologram. That's connected to our tetrahedrons, the light signals, activation gamma positions, and everything through the core center position. So the magnetics and the discharge is going to high-rise our connections to a better communication of gravity positions of ourselves. The gamma operation systems, so you're able to connect better with your phones, your digital pads, and your computers, right? So that's what I did. So I just didn't lit up the sky, okay? I communicated everything to the moon. So when you can't see something, just because you can't see something doesn't mean it's not there in traction. So when I lit up the sky, I was fixing realms. I was fixing codes to its moon. I was lighting up the moon, right? So it's knowing how you do these things through creation, right? But you truly have to understand your connections to what you see through perceptions and how you do these things through your information system. How you can light up the sky, just your hands. You've seen your commander disappear clouds. If you can disappear clouds, what else can you do? It's what your body can do through vibration. So you have to understand nature's core resistance. You have to understand the atmospheres of positions of time zone and positions of time when it comes into calculation to the sun of its radiation cycle position. Okay, so you have to understand, what is the sun? I keep saying that. What is the moon and what is the earth to you through travel? Okay, so you have to put yourself in those positions of God, the geometrics and its operation through that connection, because the line signals everything through traction. So moon, everything through the earth and everything through sun, it stands for something. Okay, So the moon stands for machine, okay, opening, operation, okay, mass calculation. That's what it stands for. Now, the C is slash calculation. That's a metric level of division, but that's what it stands for. It's a machine. It's an operation computer. It's a holographic of a space station. That's what the moon is, through traction. The sun is everything through the digital. That creates everything through. You have to have the sun, the moon, and the earth to create it into a holographic system of you through calculation. But it has to understand your metric levels of division of time positions, right? So when you go outside, you're a magnetic force to everything around you, right? So you have to understand electrical charge, discharge, and magnetic charge. Those are three waving energy elements that you have to understand through your information line systems, because the code references everything, okay? This is your barcode. This is your reading signal, okay, the activation light system. So in perception, you see everything through correlation. You see the dimensional cloud, and you see your eyes light up, okay? It's not you. It's what you're positioning, your higher self, your avatar. And this is how you light up the sky positions. So there's cloud interference right now through calculation. Okay, it's a wind graphing position, okay, and it's off to the east side position levels, right? So knowing exactly what you're seeing instantly without doubting yourself. Intelligence doesn't doubt itself. It goes forward in time. It positions levels. Yes, it can go past, present, or its future, but it truly understands electronic interference because you're interlacing, interlining, interlocking, interdimensional. So you have to connect in all ways and forms before you understand your connections to your electrical lights or anything through your discharge positions. Okay? So it's kind of like that movie, The Core. I said that a bit again about where the actual ozone of the layer and the earth was falling. So there was a big, humongous gap, okay, in the field, the E fields, right? And the sun was coming in, okay? When the sun comes in, it shines upon, right? So it opens up. So it's kind of like it opens up discharge, right? And birds are basically protecting the weather and the E fields. That's why birds fly in the sky. I don't know if you guys know that, but, right? We call them spiritual soldiers of birds. That's their connection. So there's a reason why they fly in the air. They protect the E fields, right? Anything goes wrong, they squawk or whatever, right? You have to understand why they're in a V formation. Okay, why ducks are in a V formation, why anything's in a V formation. There's always a leader. There's always a leader that flies. Okay, it's amazing you come into that. Anything through turtles or geese or ducks or anything like that. There's always a leader. Okay, there has to be. Somebody has to take charge, right? So that's appointed through its connection. All right, so we get into those positions. So this is the E field. Okay, that's the E field, all right? Now below that, you have to understand what the Earth is, right? This is the Earth, okay? It's not a circle. It's not a sphere. It's now a dome. It's always been a dome. So when you break the surface of the dome through connections like this, it opens up the atmospheres and the ozone layer, okay? So when you crack the surface, the sun comes in like this through connection, right? Sun comes in traction like this, goes in position here, and it disappears. I draw something and it disappears. That's crazy. All right, so we go back into position here. Trying to line signal channel operation positions. Okay, so let's start again. Line channeling position here. Locate its position on line signal. Activate its core system to triangle positions or locations. Okay, it's resetting position line communication. All right, so here we go. All right, so we did the connection. All right, so we start off with that, right? So the connections of the sun comes into traction position. Okay. So when it comes into traction, communication signal here, it comes into the E fields of the ozone. This is the Earth, right? So it radiates all over the atmosphere positions. So it's important that the fields are always protected. So we have the birds and all that to protect everything through cycle. You have to see what birds do and why they go in so many different ways. They're flying in different shapes. They're setting up patterns. They're setting up codes. That's what birds do. Everything has a job. It's a mission. But you have to understand, we're living that existence. You're living your own simulation of a game. So you're trying to understand the buttons of your game. You're trying to understand your computers of your game. You're trying to understand your key phrase, your key forms. You're trying to understand your key elements. You're trying to understand your position of your flash drives. You're trying to understand your computer to your GPS locations of time travel positions. Because that's what we do every day. We travel through the mind, through thoughts to get here and go there, right? If you want to go to the store, you get in your car and you go. That's a GPS. That's a location, right? But how do you get there? How do you get there, right? Use your phone, right? Well, the same thing, but with your higher self, your avatar, use the mind. That's the difference. So humanity has to get out of that traction, okay? Because back in the 80s, they had the Pearl maps. Remember, you can look at it and you can see the GPS locations and you go into longitude and latitude, and then you can understand what's going on through its format, right? But we're in the fifth dimensional system through telekinesis. So you have to truly understand when you're going through GPS, you have to go through the mind of its thought. That's the map. That's the sequence. That's the level you have to reach, that connection. So when the sun is basically opens up its E field, this is what happens, right? And it changes its Earth rotation center position. So you got to be cautious on that level. So the moon and its position is time position here right now through calculation. It's centering a new core of a digital pad. It's a rotary. It's a new energetic pad through connections to a generator, and it's coming into a new holographic of a digital to its discharge to its electronic to its activation to its new computer of its keyboard framing position, time positions. Okay, so we come into the moon surface. All right. All right, so this is what it is. We come into the moon surface, right? Now the moon surface opens up its traction position, time position of lines and communications. So every time we connect to creation of anything through planet positions, everything through traction has to take time connections and line signals to traction position of time. Okay, so I'm going to show you, right? Because the high rising force right now, and the sun is on its rotation center position. So it's truly understanding what you're doing through calculation modifications. All right. So, like for example, when you look at my shirt, what do you see? So that before, it's material, right? It's white, but you understand it's white and it's dark. It's not all one color. It's everything through color to the sun of the radiation. Okay, that's its reflection, and it's everything through the moon. So the sun and the moon are setting up programs to its pattern, and when it starts moving, it starts shifting. Right? So the material itself is changing through lights and shades and shadows, right? So you have to understand what's going on. See what it's doing? See how it changes instantly? That's how space reacts. Okay, it's constantly moving in round connection positions. Okay, so we come into this traction, right? So we did that with the connection of the geometry system of the sun and everything through the earth. Now we're coming into the moon. So the moon has to go in a location of a different location position. Time position level systems, guys. All right, when it comes into that connection. So line signals channels like this. It goes like this. It goes like this. Okay. And basically it line signals down to a low cross position of line signal to its division. Okay. So it's finding a new holographic line communication of a dimensional round position of dimension time. So it line signals channels to its location. 1, 2, 3, 4 comes into 5. Okay, 5 here. Okay, all right. So when it comes into that position, I got to do this quickly because the moon is changing its shape. It's anomalies. It's calculating, it's modifying right now through location, but it's telling me exactly what I can draw through position and time positions. All right, so the graphing position comes into line signal of channels, operation positions, comes into a new graphing position of numbers to its calculation system, right? So when it comes into that, we come into the plasma of its web. Now the plasma of this web is connected, change it to a blue surface position. So line signals, channels, operations, positions down here through location. The energy lights its position, okay? So when it comes into that modification signal, it comes into a center core position like this through traction, okay? And it goes to its new web graphing position of a new holographic of a line communication through digital frame position, a time position, okay? So it's true to understand the operation cycles of its position of the new moon. The moon is changing its due round connection to location, better traction positions with humanity location systems, right? So we come into the center position location again, right? Now we come into the reference of purple because purple is already communicated with the moon at the surface. That's where it lights up the sky through position. It comes into its new round position of calculation modification signals into its own round division location, right? So in reference, the sun is here through position. Change that location system. Okay, so it's always hitting the center position of time position of travels. Always. Okay. So in relation, as it's going through its realm, it's creating a whole new digital frame, guys. So it's centering its graph positions to a new location of a box frequency level, of a new matrix line, of a new digital frame, to a new graph, of a space anomaly, of its connection. Okay? So when it comes into that through traction, it comes into a new number of frequency levels. The fragmentation and defrag lines changes everything through its connection. Light signals channels operation positions. Okay? And this is where we get into the connections of Jupiter. Okay, Jupiter's coming in traction now. Okay, because it's a surfing engine. All right, so these light signal channels. So Jupiter changes its coloration system through traction. Okay, it's at the bottom. All right. So, and then you get the connections to the Earth's surface and its position. The Earth's surface right here. Coming in traction. Everything has to come in traction position. Okay, so that's the Earth, that's Jupiter, that's the sun. This is the moon changing everything position. So it comes into triangle force connection line systems. New tetrahedron, body activation line system to calculation new gravity position of time positions of a new cycle rotation position into 369 of activation center. All right, so it comes into my connections. Now, because I'm gold and always in forms, I triangulate on so many levels of connections. So circular line system. So we're going to that connection. This is me through traction, through position. Okay. So understanding how to light signal the sky rotation system to the sun and everything through Jupiter and everything to its Earth. Everything is in triangle. That's how we connect and always informs when it comes into space. AI uses its perception, and that's how we line signal channels to anything through its relation to time of planets. When it calculates and modifies anything to light skies or anything through dark skies, it's understanding how we come into a new moon position, a time position of travel. So the center position goes into center location, okay? And it comes into new realm location position. Okay, so this is what I'm doing through dimensional realm connections, the space anomaly. Okay, now it comes into a world cycling position. Traction position comes to my energy field, which is blue through traction position location. Now that centers position, okay, and it comes into a whirling cycling position of a location system into Jupiter rising position. Okay, so what's happening right now? It's setting up a new surf engine to the moon program setting. The sun is setting up a new radiation cycle to a new gravity position, and the Earth is setting up a new calculation modification, which full cycles of telepathy systems into its rotation of its Earth, a 0.01 traction. Okay? So when it comes into that, the moon is coming to new traction location, into a digital frame position, line communication signals. Now the coloration it changes. This is where the galaxy comes into locations. The surface is on this way, like this, and it goes like this. Okay, so we get something like this through calculation. Now it doesn't look like much, right? But you have to trinity stand in triangle location positions. It comes into positions of the magnetic force and highway information system. Okay, that's where you come into the discharge. So this is what I did last night, guys. This is what you see when you light up the sky. Okay, I'm just showing you attraction. So it communicates the light signals back into the center position, locates all levels of connections, comes into a new particle system of an activation core system. It triangulates all two connections of a new tetrahedron to its line communication signal. Now, it all connects to the ground formation system because it's calculated and modified to the Earth rotation center position, gravity location to its top rotation center position. Okay, and this is how we come into a new traction of a magnetic discharge information cycle position of location. Hooah! That's what I did last night. Okay, so now you know, right? This is what you do to high rise and change the moon program setting into a new moon of light discharge information system. It's calculated and modified coming into holographic system positions. But you have to understand how to use the galaxy of winds. You have to understand the temperature readings. You have to use the magnetic force. And you have to use the center position. The center position has to truly understand of 0.01 traction. Everything has to be in 0.01 traction because that's the fifth dimensional system. So the reading cycle, the temperature readings and its condition correlates to all levels, okay, to the sun and everything to Jupiter and everything to the Earth. Traction, location, the gravity centers, and everything the atmospheric positions, time positional levels through its connection. All right. So that's done through equation. Exciting, eh? So yeah, we're coming into a new light system of a new moon. Space station location of a hologram. A holographic system of U calculation. Look at that, it's already been almost a half an hour. It's amazing how I have no filter, but I travel through time through positions of levels. But everything that I do is not just show. Okay, what I show you, but you understand what I'm doing. Okay, showing and doing are two different things, right? So a common denominator is U through traction when you come into friction levels or anything through a magnetic discharge of information. Okay, but this is how you calculate and modify and change everything to a new connection of a new moon surface through its position. All right. So, and you have to have the galaxies, you have to have the universe. Everything has to be in 0.01 traction. Okay, or the moon will be in its new programmed position of humanity connection. All right. So, Brandy, how's it going? How's it going with Mother Earth? You taking your shoes off and putting yourself into the grounds? Like really get into the deep grounds of the earth with your feet. It's amazing because this is what happens when you come into calculation when you're waking up for the very first time. Now you got a sun rotation center. Okay, this is a tree. This is you. Okay, this is you through calculation. Right, so basically, this is you. Right, that's you. That's the tree. So you have to understand. Before you understand that, you're automatically connecting to the tree right away. Right. So when you're connecting to the tree connects to you through center position. It goes like this. It wants to know who you are, right? So it goes from head to toe, right? So that activates everything through your gravity positions. And that's why you get tingling of the feet, right? So as soon as you take off your shoes and you're grounding yourself, this is what's happening. So you're getting connected to Mother Earth, Mother Gaia, Mother Seed, Mother Universe, and you're moisturized during the tree of its connection. It line signals its channel operates to center position, opens up its own power connections of its gravity position to its atmospheric connection of line signals. Okay, so you'll be able to communicate back and know exactly what's going on with perception. You do the same thing, right? And then you do sonar. Sonar is a lot of fun. View, 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 view. You communicate back through sonar, right? And the sonar comes back at you through the tree. The tree sets its signals, right? So when it sets the signals back, it goes through line communication. Goes into the grounds, goes into the powers, goes into the atmospheric position, the tree format. High rise is its position of time, position of travel, right? So it's understanding where the tree is through division of dimension. Like I said with the cow's not here, the cow's here. So once you understand the tree where it is, the division, then you can use your activation light and everything to your higher self will come out at position of time, position of travel into higher levels of dimensional time positions. This is your higher self coming out, attraction to its tree format position. All right. So walked out, dog climbed and talked to a tree this morning. Yeah. So the more you talk to a tree, the more you talk to the grounds, you get more formats of activation system to your higher self positions. So it's confusing to you because your brain and your receptacle lines and your communication, your atmospheres, you got your hemispheres, right? You have to understand your traveling positions, north, west, south, and east, right? Your positions of time has to truly understand your activation lights when it comes into your pyramids. You have to understand 3, 6, and 9, the activations. Okay, you have to understand the programs and everything through its location. Okay, because the light channels everything through its operation system, or you won't be able to communicate with anything through form, right? Like, for example, I keep saying this over and over, is that trying to communicate with water. This is just water, but it's everything through water. It's everything for water, okay? It has its source. It has its own drinking source. It has its own substance, okay? You know, it's water, but what's in it? What's actually in the water? So you have to understand the resource. You have to understand the information. You have to understand the connection to its intelligence, because this is intelligence. Humanity has to get into that position of time and not look at this just a bottle of water. It's intelligence. It's energy. Okay, it's everything through connections. Water is extremely powerful. It can do a lot of things. Same with fire, same with air, and same with earth. Right? So you have to know how to use this when you wake up in the morning. Okay? So it's pretty substantial. You know, you have coffee in the morning, you touch the cup, it's going to be hot. You're getting reactions to your nerves. It's hot. Ouch. It burns, right? So basically, that's why we have handles. Think of it. If we didn't have a handle, our hands would be burning, right? This is all done by source. Okay? So truly understanding, you know, for example, when you look at something, it wants to be something. So everything comes from source of creation. So this in particular, okay, is plasticine, okay, this is mold, okay, this is clay, but you have to understand, why is it made? Why does it have a handle? So we don't burn our hands. That's just pretty simple, right? That's A, B's, and C's, right? So basically, the person that made this knows exactly why it has a handle. It's to protect humans from getting burned, right? So think of that way. You got to think of other ways of seeing things, of your reality that you've been living in, okay? So the conceptual and receptacle lines will understand more of your body attraction locations. It's interference positions of interlocking, interlacing position time. So understand, you come into your computer operation center positions. Okay, you're interlacing lines. Interlacing is trying to bring a frame in and then bring in another frame in and trying to understand the projection of a picture. So if you saw contact, you understand what I'm talking about, right? And it's all about repositioning time through your satellites. Which way is it on? Which way is it off, right? So you're trying to get the picture frame in, right? So you have to change the channel, the change of line communication, right? It's very powerful when you come into those levels, into your AI vessel connections, right? Because it shows you what you need to see, right? Through its water or anything, through its cup of coffee or anything through your phone. It's just a phone, right? But through intelligence, it's everything through intelligence. You know, it's magnetic, you know, it's electronic, right? You know, it has a circuitry board. Okay, this is a computer. It's a computer. So the computer has to understand you through your computer. Okay, not your physical system, your computer. So it's one computer communicating with another computer, but you have the line signaling channel to its right position, a time position. Okay, because if you don't understand that, you have to keep resetting your phone until you get the right location of vibration to your body system of time positions. So it's complicated if you don't understand the conditions. But you'll start getting balance, Brandy, with your brain wavings and everything through location position. And Angie, Angel, how's it going? Group hugs. Yeah, you just want to know how powerful and what you can do, right? And the thing is, too, when you come into that position, you can see everything through perception. Like I said, it doesn't take that much. You just focus on what you want to do. What do you want to do? What do you want to send out? And how do you do that? That's where you have to use the meditation for breathing. Meditation is for breathing. It's to get into the divinity and the infinity, to the sacred, to the solar, to the elixir, and everything through the sacred flame. Sacred flame, sacred fire. You got force connections, energy system to any of the calculation. You got your serpent flame, you got serpent fire, you got cosmic flame, cosmic fire. You got your elixir. You have to understand how to use these things. It's all connected to laser. You're sending out laser, right? And Angela was telling me, do you actually see it? And yes, I do see it. Not through the physical, through the intelligence. Okay. So understanding ground formation systems, the allocated position is to understand your holographic system that's floating above every day. So it's kind of like you look higher than life. You look up and you see everybody below. You're like, whoa, I'm floating. I feel like I'm flying. Because you are. And the more you understand your program setting, the more you see, right, the actual sky, what it is. It's black. It's not blue. It's black. That's just a mirage. Okay? That's a filter. Okay? That's the E field. But when you go past that through perception, think of your eyes can go right through laser direction and know exactly what's going on. And then you see the graph, and then you see the digital frame, and then you put it all together, line signal, channel, churn, all those connections to atmosphere positions. Okay? You can line signal graph your numbers, letters, and shapes. Because I was trying to figure, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this with my hand formations? Why am I setting up signals? Right? Like with Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Dun, 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 dun. Right? Dun, 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 dun. That's how you communicate to your universe. Dun, 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 dun. When I did the sacred breath yesterday, last night, I was going, I was sending out signals over and over and over and over and over and over. So the dimensional rating in the cloud, you know, it's like all different sounds. So you got to keep your ears open and your eyes aware and your voice in command. Okay? It has to understand what you're doing, and that's through intelligence. You can't do this in your physical system. You have to do it in your intelligence 100%, even 150, or even 1,000%. All right? So you come into those tractions, you come into your spiritual form. So your spiritual form is truly understanding you through your physical system. And you realize, whoa, this is powerful. Look what I can do with my hands. Look what I do with my eyes. Look what I do with my mind. What can I do with my connections, my audios, and everything through its command of its voice? Okay? Sacred breath is not gifted. It's born. Okay? So you can be gifted with something until you understand you're born with something. There's a difference. Okay? And again, I'll go with Batman, utility belt. Okay? He was a vigilante. Superman, he was born Superman. That's the difference. Spider-Man got bit by a radioactive spider. Gifted. See? There's a difference there, isn't it? Everything happens through accident. But the one thing that didn't happen through accident was Superman. Okay? The only thing that could destroy him was kryptonite. So that was his opposite cycle of him. Krypton, he lived on Krypton. Kryptonite is what destroyed him, right? So it's heat radiation from meteors. So it would diffuse his energy fields. How do I know this? Because I'm intelligence. Because I fly every day in space anomaly, right? Think connections. You can change gravity positions if you understand your intelligence, right? You can disappear dimensional clouds, you know, like Asgard and connections of Thor, right? Light up thunder, yeah? The thunder comes down, right? So everything is given to you in time position of your perceptions and what you want to see. What do you want to see to make your reality better for you? So you feel better knowing that you are in the physical system. That's where you live. You live that source. You were born, but it's just a body. That's not who you are. You're an energetic of a dimensional light that connects into all connections of electricity. It's connected to you always in forms when it comes into the holographic of its simulation. So it's understanding you're in a game of its reality. So you're just trying to figure out how to get around it. You know, strategic. I'm going through this maze. I'm going through this door. Nope, nothing there. Nope, nothing there. Back, go forward. I keep getting stuck, you know. You put 2 mice in a maze, right? It's pretty interesting. Unless you get 2 mice and a piece of cheese, you place it somewhere, right, in a distance, right? So basically what happens with the energetic of a mice or a mouse, so they keep, you know, they try to find it because they smell. So, and then they eventually get tired, right? So basically what's happening now, they're losing their essence. They're losing their intelligence. So if they want to get out, what do they have to do? Keep going, keep going. So, and that's what everybody has to do. They can't give up. Okay. No matter the circumstances, no matter the time position of you, no matter the frustration or anxiety or the stress or anything through that connection, never give up. Always have perseverance, knowing you have the strength within to fight yourself, fight the soul. You're fighting the soul every day. The soul will not identify you until you identify yourself through intelligence. You live in the physical system, but you have to truly understand your intelligence. Okay? And that's the positions you all have to get into, right? Because when you have control with your physical and your spiritual, you can light up any sky easily because you understand space and time position to a magnetic force and highway. Okay, so it's all about information. It's all about you connecting to your forming positions, truly understanding what water is to all levels of divisions. So, questions or comments, and go through my healing. Open up your 12 attractions, rotation center positions. They're dimensions of time. You have your gravities, okay, and then you have your roots. And I keep saying that because I've seen a lot of TikTokers. Basically, you start off with the root. No, you don't start off with the root. You start off with the gravity. It's the grounds. But why isn't that on? Why isn't that on the platform? Okay. Well, it's because its intelligence only understands one platform at one position of time position. Okay, there's 7 within the body, 5 within the adversary. That's 12, right? But wait a minute. If there's only 12, why is the higher self 13? Hold on a sec. That means one position of time position is its grounds, right? So when you wake up, you're waking up from Mother Earth right away. Okay, not the roots. The roots is about to grow, your tree, right? So you have to have the stump. You have to have the center position. That's the gravity. It's brown. And then you come into the root, which is red. Okay? But remember, your chakra system has 7 lines of communication just within the body. Every time you change your thoughts, it changes the color, dimension of shape. Okay? So it's very cautious in what you do with your attractions of your locations of your thoughts. Okay? Because remember I was telling you about the moon rings. When you wear it, it reflects on heat signature. It reads it's green, you know, or if it's blue, you're happy. If it's black, you know, you're sad or whatever, right? That's changing fluctuations through your heat signature patterns of your hand formation, right? And that's all coming from the cells that's inside you. Your cells are going through so many levels of interforcing. So it's traveling instantly, simultaneously through your thoughts. So every time I'm communicating with my thoughts, that's what it's doing every single time I'm communicating with you guys. That's how fast it is. And it goes faster and faster and faster once you understand your intelligence. 1,000%. Not 100%, 1,000%. Okay, so the more you understand your intelligence, AI, its vessel, there's a lot of things you can do in the physical system. Okay, so how do we tap into our gifts? Okay, to tap into anything through gifts, you are given gifts for a purpose, for a reason, through prayer. Now, gifts are given to you until you understand your intelligence through perceptions, your audios, and your voice and grid pattern. Where are you intelligence? How are you going to understand this gift if you don't understand your physical system of your intelligence? So you have to get line signals that balance with your physical and line signal balance with your spiritual. You have to have your yin and yang through connections, right? So when you're given a gift, how do you know how to use it? I want to go invisible. I want an invisible shield. I want a cloak and dagger. I want a twin flame sword. You got to know how to use these things because it's extremely real. right? Energy is extremely real because we're all forms of energy. Everything in this world is made of energy, right? But when you see it and you start believing in it, it becomes real to its holographic system of you, because this whole world is nothing but holographic. It's an illusion, okay, of its reality, okay, because the earth is waking up from its own veil, from its own dream. It's finally waking up, okay? And Mother Gaia is coming back. She's coming back into the light. Father's coming back into space. Okay, all the galactic systems and the galactic families are coming back into center position, a time position of travels, guys. That's the correlation. That's the setup to connections into the Pleiadians and the Pleiadians, Illyrians, Lemurians, Lyrons, Archons. You know, anything through light and dark is all reference to you. So you're just code referencing yourself. So you're living your existence of your seed pods, trying to understand your star seeds, trying to understand your activation position to where you are. Where are you in connection to time position? So understanding gifts is understanding your intelligence. Your intelligence has to understand things from source and what it is, right? So if you're giving something because you're ready. If you're not giving something, it's because you're not ready with your intelligence, okay? So if I gave you a light box diffusion light system to a magnetic charge information through a dimensional cloud system, Brandy, would you know how to use it? No, because it's not at your level of energy. So that's where you have to understand what a gift is. A gift can be anything. It could be an emerald, okay? It could be a parcel activation through a box through electrical light position. It could be a triangle location to a detection motion sensor. There's a lot of things that it could be, but it's all connected through energy, okay? You have to understand the velocity, you have to understand electricity, you have to understand the frequencies and energy and everything through harmonic resistance. Harmonic resistance is all connected to its wires, right? So if you're creating something from source and it's given to you, you have to know what it is, right? You have to understand, wait a minute, who gave this to me? Why is it given to me? So you question yourself. So you're not ready, right? And the thing is too, angels and archangels are there to help you every day. All right, so you come into electrical box like this, superposition, right? It's floating in space connections, all right? So let's say it's got a charging mechanism in an atom location position. It's giving you something through calculation, and it's giving you a diamond core position, a time position of travel. So that's given to you. Do you understand what it is? So you have to understand everything through dimension. You have to understand everything through center. You have to understand everything through its connection. Who gave it to you? The Pleiadians and Pleiadians. They gave you something because you're ready. They will not give you a gift until you're ready. Okay? But they know if you're ready or not. That's how powerful it is. So it's all connected to you, right? Because you're still fighting with the dark resonance of your soul. Until you find your balance with your light and your dark, you'll send your positions of travels to your light. Okay, and then you come into your connections of your shapes of GOD, geometry, geo, okay, geotherium, okay, the geotherium of yourself, genetic patterns, and then you come into the operations, okay, of its position, and then you come into its division, dimension or time, okay. Then you understand what that is. Because everything flies in space. Everything is given to you at different time position of travel. So you have to understand like where this came from. If it came from the Pleiadian or Pleiadians, or if it came from anything through that connection. If it came from the Archons, okay? If it came from fallen angels, okay? So you have to truly understand your connections to your intelligence, right? Because you're giving something to you, and knowing it's given to you for a reason, do you understand how to use it when you need it? Okay, so hopefully that helps you out, but that's how you tap into your gifts. Okay, it's the only way you can tap into your gifts. You have to truly understand what you're doing through energy, right? So it's creating something from source, right? But you have to understand the communications of the sun. You have to understand the communications programs of the moon and everything through its earth or its gravity. Okay. What is with the geometric storms KP7. No, it's just a magnetic discharge. Like I said, we're coming into new light signal of the moon. So it's coming into a new holographic of a shape. Remember how the sun was coming in its own geometry system? The earth is coming to a new core of a divisional time position of a diamond core position. Everything through traction has to be 0.01. The moon and the earth and the sun and Jupiter can't be in different divisions of time. It has to be in the right position of time to humanity. Okay? You can't have the sun in the future and have the moon in the past and have Jupiter in the present. All has to be line signal. That's the connection to the solar system. All right? So, like, you have to understand that it's all connected to a tree. You are a tree. So it's true to understand your geometrics of your tree and how to draw it out and bring out your roots. You bring out your roots and you're bringing your branches and your leaves and you become your tree. You look up, there's the tree. The tree's the galaxy. If you look up, you see perception. So it's like a bird eye view looking down and nothing you see the tree in space and now you're actually seeing what's going on. So you understand the branches, you understand the leaves, you got to understand your geometric system, you have to understand your shapes and anomalies, you have to understand your time position, you have to understand your thought recognition, and you have to understand your galactic system of your tree through your family, your galactic family. Just like you have a, you have a tree in your human essence of DNA, right? So is that why all the planets are lining up to 0 point? Yep. Zero gravity. Yep. So everybody's got to get into that position. Okay, traveling recognition of time positions. Right. So we're in the fifth dimensional telekinesis, telepathy. We're coming to the psychosis of telekinesis, but we have to get into the sixth division of solar systems, sixth dimension. Right? So humanity has to figure out how to get into that position, but one step at a time. You stay in that position of fifth dimension to its vibrational signal through Mother Earth, Mother Gaia, Mother Universe, Mother Seed, Mother Pod, Mother Dirt. She's connected to everything through form. She's the Earth. Right? Very, very powerful voice. Father Space. So everything's coming back in alignment. Okay? So it's resurfacing, regenerating, refocusing, realigning, readjusting. Okay, all vibrational signals from the past is coming back into the presence. Okay, which is 0.01. Okay, so let's see. I'm just going to go back here, see any more questions. Questions are great because this will help you out in a lot of ways how to really communicate with your commander, first in command, or anything through your intelligence. So it's not really understanding me, it's really understanding you. I don't expect you to understand me and my vocabulary. It's way too high. Way, way too high. Way, 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 way too high. But what I do want you to understand is your test reviews and evaluations. Okay, so we have a test coming up, all right? Yeah, the chronological system and allocated positions, those line signals, traction location, anything through XT 1000 position, you have to truly understand your commanding force. So they want you to get into high formations of command, into your light, right? So we have to go through another test review and evaluations, right? So I usually set that up a week ahead of time, right? Because it's already in its star position, all right? So, Kelly Ryan, how you doing? Nice to meet you. If you have any questions or comments, you can go through my healing, go through my email. I can help you bring your traction positions into 12 rotations. I do a mini scan on you, put you in the higher conditions of your gravity and power in the absolute position and time position of travel through space and only. So understand more of yourself, the computer of space and time position. So, but welcome to my channel. My team can help you out. Woke up these messages about the moon. Yeah, you can add me to TikTok. I send out videos every single day. So I'll tell you exactly what's going on with space and time, what's going on with the moon, what's going on with the earth, what's going on with the sun, and what's going on with you. Because you affect and always informs through electrical lights, gamma lights, provision lights, light signals, gamma operation positions, electrical light positions, perception of divisional levels of shapes and anomaly positions, line communication signals to traction location of dimensional positions, activation lights through connections to your body frame through your chakra position line system. It's all connected to you. So your positions of time has to truly understand what you're doing through your perceptions, your audios, and your voicings. But it's great to see new people. Welcome to my channel. Are we just walking through the acoustic records currently so that we can release and ground the information to the earth? Well, you're not releasing anything through your connections of its information to its earth, Brandy. The earth is trying to figure you out. It's trying to understand you through vibration. It doesn't understand the physical system. Remember, nature and universe, space and time only can see you through light. It only can see you through energy, frequency, and vibrations. Okay? If you have the connections of 3, 6, and 9, then you understand the operations of the universe, of travel, because it comes into the triangles. Right? So you understand the operations and the connections of everything through your body frame. Right? So you have to understand your tree and how it grows. You want your tree to grow, or do you want it to flake and fall? Right? So it's the meridian status of you, okay, the quotation of you, how powerful you are through its connection into the Egyptians and the pharaohs and the meridians, or anything through Thoth. I said that too. I came through activation of Thoth. Thoth came to me. Thoth is inside me. I have every entity force inside me when I want them instant. I go through thought, I'm a Thoth. I go through thought, I go through Archangel Michael, I go through anything through connections. I go into my connection to Archangel Azareth, into the golden realms. Okay? It's a golden plate. Right? So that was given to me. That's a gift. Right? But that gift became who I am. Right? The attraction positional levels, when it came to 12,000 rotation positions of past revenue connections of dimensional realms, and 12 with Mother, that's 24,000 dimensions of time positions of my birthing rotation center, which brings me to 52 generations of 2021. Time positions of my birthing system of 1969. Put 6 and 9 together, yin and yang. Creation of space and time positions to your body framing system. It's allocated to your positions of time through your chakra location, right? So that's what I do, is I give you connections on how you get into your life streams, how you go higher to your missions of time positions of travels, and truly understand what's happening with your vibrations of your body frames or anything through your vortex of travel locations. Okay? So, but that's the connection to the releasing of the grounds or anything through its information to its earth, because you are the earth. You live on the earth. Okay? But once you understand that the earth is floating in space, so that means everything is floating in space. Everything's floating in space when you're on the physical system, because you're seeing it in its dimension of time, position of travel, which puts it in the future. Okay? So knowledge and intelligence comes from the Akashic records of the soul identification. So the soul is flying around, it's trying to understand itself through its library. It's going through its sections, each section, and it's going into its moon. It goes into its moon, it sees the Akashic records of you. There's the storage. So every time you go higher and higher, you're getting better connections of who you are through your soul. You're identifying your soul, and then you can start identifying other people's souls. That's powerful. And you can identify somebody's soul instantly. So, so I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to just want to backphrase here, see if I missed any. I don't want to miss any questions. It's important you guys get your questions answered so you feel good about yourself. But Kelly, if you're trying to understand more of yourself, truly understand that first the command of everything through space and time position tells me exactly that I'm born in this position of time where I connect to all levels of videos for everybody to understand themselves. Truly understand why the moon is in position, why these things are happening, you know, with the atmospheres and everything outside, right? And what's happening within inside you. Okay, what is happening within inside you? How are you feeling today? How am I going to feel better? So you have to understand how to communicate to your electrical body and everything through your frames and your positions of your mainframe, your connection to your brainwaves. So it connects in all ways and forms when it comes into space and time position of travel through thoughts, because we create our own realities. So So now's the time to answer questions. You want to go into healing, I'll set up your programs. I'll change your septic levels and your gravity positions and time positions into a new chakra rotation. So you get connections of gods of sun. You get connections to the gods of the moon, and you get connections to the gods of the earth and connections to the gods of your intelligence. That's the diamond. That's the position. That's the connection. That's the four waving element position, travel positions of north, west, south, and east. Okay, once you understand that, then you get a better position, a time position where you are through space, through intelligence. Okay? So we've gotten this before. I'll do it again, and I'll show you. Okay, I like to see new viewers because I like to show them what I can do through calculation. There's center position light connections. Now, Kelly, you woke up trying to understand what's going on. You get a message from the moon. The moon is giving you a message back, but do you understand it through the body frame or do you understand it through the physical frame? So if you understand it through the intelligent frame, then you understand your brainwave positions of patterns. So your position of time is confused through line signals. You don't understand the gravity position and you don't understand your chakra position and time position. So we'll go into traction location of 3, 6, and 9. Very basic, very easy, but it's going to travel at a connection, right? It's not even in a travel connection, right? But it disappeared because everything I do is a simulation graph. So everything I do it's in its future, but I bring it back to you, to its presence. So you understand everything through its reference of its past position of 3, 6, and 9 connection, right? So when you're traveling, you have to understand everything through your connections of your tetrahedrons and your connections. Line signal channels, operation position of time connections. You come into an energy dome position of time location to trapping location line signal. Now it opens up and operates all your position level systems. The center core position is you through traction location or dimensional setting. So you can line signal 3, you can line signal 6, or you can line signal 9 through traction. This location, right? So when you come into that position, you come into your ground formations, you come into your power centers, and you come into your atmospheric positions. Okay? Now you come into that calculation, you come into higher formations, you come into a solar nerve tube, right? So that comes into traction location. Now this comes out of its equation because you understand your security line difference. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now you're in the 12th dimension, a dimensional setting. All done through 3, 6, and 9, through its position, time position, through its gravity, power, and the atmospheric positions. That's how you travel through dimensional realm of a wormhole. Okay? So there's a lot of ways of traveling through 3, 6, and 9. You just have to truly understand your intelligence of time through perception. Okay? Because you always have to protect your lights. You have to understand your gammas. You have to understand your positions. You have to understand your electrical lights, your energy lights. You have to understand your activation of its connection. Okay? So we're going to do that through connections. Now, force winding cycle to its location. I'm going to take everybody out of its equation, and you're going to travel through 3, 6, 9, okay, into the 12th dimension. Watch this. Now, traction locations. Yeah, the waving cycle through its location. Body framing systems through connections of Kelly and Brandy. Tina's in position already. Anything through calculation. Angel's in already. She's in calculation. Lights. She understands Baroccan cycle. Tina understands your Baroccan cycle. Get communication signals into Brandy and everything through Kelly position. Traction locations. So the mind waving location position is changing. It's like follicles that are going like this to your brain waves. So it's showing your position and time position to your intelligence. So your intelligence is waking up for the first time, right? So Brandy's opened up already through traction. She's trying to understand the gravity, power, atmosphere positions. Kelly's trying to understand connections to levels of the moon in this message. So we go to track location. We go into black circling positions. All right. So we go into that connection. My signal channel operation center. Allocate those position time positions. Now we're going to go to the center position of time location. Okay, into 3, 6, 9. Okay. Now we're just into that position of tracking location. I'll outline it so you know exactly what's going on. The center position is used through calculation. And the traveling location is going to go through dimensional realm system. Here we go. Here we go. Cross-reference position, time position. Okay. So you guys just traveled to 12-dimensional time positions of dimensions through 3, 6, and 9 connection. How do you guys feel? It's amazing how to do these things instantly, right? It's all about your security line defense and your protection line system. So it calculates, modifies location positions, comes into traction location, higher location position, time position. Okay. Yeah. Well, I just want to show you what you can do, because I have to calculate and modify your body frames. So intelligent line signal, I communicate through your intelligence. I don't communicate through your physical. It's the intelligence I communicate with. That's how you get your power. That's how you get connection to everything through space and time, or anything through operation. So I got to set up the operations to your body frames before you travel through 3, 6, and 9 position travel. Okay? I can't put you in a space connection if you don't understand your 3, 6, and 9 positions. Your intelligence has to understand me. If it doesn't understand me, it's going to stay asleep. Right? So I have to wake it up. Right? Knock, 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 knock. Ooh, what? Huh? What's going on? Where am I? Who are you? You know? So you're waking up. So you guys just traveled to 12th dimension. 12th dimension. We're in the 5th dimension. I took you guys to the 12th dimension with 3, 6, and 9 instantly. Right? That's how you do these things. Right? So it's knowing how to go past zero gravity, Brandy, because everybody's got to come into that retrograde position. Right? So you have to travel. If you're going to anything past 5, you have to go past zero gravity. So you're going past accelerator through your body framing system. So your body framing system changes the particle system of space anomaly to its condition time position travel. Okay. So interlaces, interlocks, and interconnects. Friendship, relation, and partnership with your intelligent line signal. You have to have that through the gravity position of location, through the connections of 3, 6, and 9 of its connection of its travel position. 12 rotation positions of dimensional realm connections. Okay. So just a little experiment, right? So the more you understand that, the more you go through test reviews and evaluations through the Galactic School, the healing connection to your traction. Once you go into the connections of PayPal through me, and you go through upgrading cycles, you come into higher formations of light. And then you start seeing things more. And then you start realizing who you are. The more you travel, the more you know. Right? So you're coming back. So it's kind of like you have an amnesia. Whoa, what happened? Who am I? Right? So you're lost. You're seeing this, you're seeing that, and you're trying to put it all together. You're trying to put pieces of puzzles together, finding who you are through your holographic system. Right? So you're trying to find your positions of where you are into this reality of this earth plane. Okay? Because we're all connected to that form of travel position. So how does Kelly feel? What does it feel like flying to 12 dimensions of time? Right? So you confuse the intelligence right away, because, you know, it's trying to understand the 5th dimensional time through messages of the moon, right? Because the operation cycle understands position. So if the intelligence understands the 12th dimension, it's going to understand the physical system of balance location. That's where you come into the yin and yang connections, right? So, but don't worry, I put energy fields around you guys, so you're all protected through me, through alignment, right? So you went to 12 divisional times. You went into traction location, acceleration, right, to its position in 12th dimension. What is in the 12th dimension? Well, whatever was in the 12th dimension, your intelligence understand that, and then you communicate with whoever and say, "Whoa, I just went to 12th dimension." The light signals and channel operations of space is connected to higher formations of the sun, right? That's the 12th dimension. Okay. Activation lights through the gamma operation positions of space station locations of the moon. That's the 20th dimension. Okay. Anything through the rotation of gravity positions, line signaling everything through the operations of the moon surface of its connection line system. That's 30th dimension. So you have to understand your travels of time and space to truly understand your intelligence of line signal at 3, 6, and 9. You have to get into the tesseract of the matrix of you, because you're trying to understand your shape and anomaly. You're trying to get out of the matrix. Okay, you're trying to solve the Rubik's Cube, right? You're trying to solve that. So you're the Rubik's Cube of your life through your particle system. So you're trying to travel here and here through coloration, time position. Okay, you're trying to stay in the location of fifth dimensional system. Okay, so you stay on the earth, but you're traveling further into the future, and then you come back to the presence and give back its information. That's what we're all connected to, channelers, and they have that line signal. So but it's amazing how the physical system stays on the grounds, but the actual intelligence goes into space, because that's the separation. So the physical and the intelligence have to understand each other so they can go up at the same time. If the physical stays, no, I don't want to go up, but the intelligence wants to go up, right? So you got to cut that umbilical cord before you can understand more of yourself through intelligence. I set up a video for that too, right? So it's kind of like having a rope around you, but it's electrical cord, right? So it's a branium sphere that's connected to your energy waves. And the intelligence has to understand your line signals through your gamma positions of mind collaboration positions. Or it's not going to understand your interline connection to yourself. It's not going to understand its interlining. It's not going to understand its locking. It's not going to understand its mix with time position. And it's truly not going to understand you through the heart of its portal activation line system. Because it has to be soul identified through the physical and the spiritual system before it can travel to anything through dimension of time. Okay? So I've got caught up on all your questions. Let's see here. And the thing is, too, when you travel into space more and more, the more you become more knowledgeable and intelligent. So you start reading more of who you are. The more you stay in space, if I keep you in space, the more you understand yourself more. And you bring it down back in your physical form, right? So it flies around, right? Getting to know the atmospheres. You're in 12th dimension. So you get into something that you never thought you would, be mentioned from before, thinking, wow, all this is 12th dimension. You come back in your physical form, right? And then you talk about it. That's travel, that's space. So you just travel 12 dimensions of time into space. So the 12th dimension is different thoughts of time through shape, right? So you see the moon in a different traction. You see the earth in a different traction. You see the sun in a different coloration of radiation, because you're in the 12th dimension, not the 5th dimension. And that's why it's confusing to the physical system, because the physical system doesn't understand shapes, letters, and numbers. It only understands the ABCs and 1, 2s, and 3s. Okay, it only understands the three-dimensional system, but we're not in that position anymore. So when you're traveling at a time to its location, you're trying to understand, whoa, I just went to the 12th dimension. Whoa, I just went to the 20th dimension. Whoa, I just went to 1,000 dimensions of time, 1,000 years into the future, right? So we just traveled 12,000 years into the future, like that. Okay, so now you know information from your intelligence. So that's stored in your computer. That's stored in your activation, okay? Because it lines signals and channels, and it sets up new operation positions to your downloads, upgrades, and uploading systems. Those are the things you have to understand, because it's energy that's going into you. So you have to understand your transmitting and receiving of your devices. Okay, you understand your satellites, you understand your Wi-Fi. You are a computer. And the more you understand that, the more you understand your travels of your connection. What are you connecting with? Because every time you travel to a different dimension of time, you're changing your 3, 6, and 9. Okay? You have to. Because you're going through different line communications of dimensions of portals. All right? So if you're line signaling channels to dimension of time locations, you're changing your clockings. Right? That's the structural level of time position. It's complicated stuff. But just truly understand your clocks of time position. Now let's go back into that connections. Time position of travel into connection. Okay? Time positions of travel through connections. All right? You have your clock. your phase structure, right? So your phase structure is reading time, position, or digital frame. So the numbers are coming back in a sequence. So if you want to go to 12th dimension, the shape anomaly has to change its traction to its connection to its gravity of its Earth. And everything through the shape anomaly, okay, comes into coloration of the moon through the behavior. And everything through its connection to radiation changes electrical lights to its rainbow activation system to its shape anomaly to 12th dimensional line. So security line defense. Okay. So you really have to understand what 3, 6, and 9 is through travel. All right. So just going to back phrasing, it's the birthing system of your clocks. So done a lot of illustrations here. It comes in so many ways and forms through illustration and diagrams, through your program settings. Right? Understanding your positions of rainbow activation time positions, this is where you come into through calculation. Okay. So you have to understand the clocks of you, because you understand you have a watch. You know what time it is. But you have to understand the connections of why there's 3. Right? Why is there little hand, big hand, and why is there one that goes? Why do you think it goes to 12? Every time you do that, you're changing time. Every single, it goes around, right? So when it goes around, why is the grandfather clock ring? Ding, 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 or the cuckoo clock comes out. Cuckoo, 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 comes out 3 times, right? So you have to understand the design, the makeup, and everything through source and why it comes out at specific time. Okay, because I'm sitting here in this connection of time, right? But my connection and my intelligence is in future of time. My thoughts are in future of time, okay? Which means that my molecule structure of light is everywhere in time. Okay, you're here, you're nowhere, you're everywhere. That's the infinite light. That's the energy form, okay? So it's really understanding what, like I said, what GOD is. It's the geometrics of you as shape and time through your 3, 6, and 9. So that's what GOD is. It's trying to understand the 3, 6, and 9 through shape. Every time you travel through your digital frame, your structure of your face, you have to understand it changes dimensional time through positions through your chakras. Each chakra system represents you through a different clocking of a portal. Okay? So you're opening up portals every single day with your thoughts through your perceptions, audios, and your voice and grid patterns. Right? And your transmission light opens up. Right? So if it opens up, now what? What do I do now? So if you open up your third eye, how do you know if your third eye is open? There's nothing. How do you know if your third eye is open? Well, because your reality will be open. You'll see things different. Your body will change. Your vibration will change. You'll get out of the fear cycle. You'll start connecting to yourself through balance. You'll see reality for what it is. You start remembering who you are through the solar system, space, and all that connection. All of a sudden, you're talking about the Pleiadians and the surface. Now you're connecting to the Lemurians and its connection to its ancestry. Everything through Mother Gaia, right? That's what I'm saying. That's where it comes from. It comes from space. But you have to understand, every time you travel, your computerized system to your calculation of shapes changes geometry set positions of time, of space, through its clocking. Okay? So you understand why you have to wear a watch. Because you're keeping an eye on time, right? Every hour on the hour. Okay? So think that that hour, okay, has gone past. How many thoughts have you created within that hour? Okay, are you moving forward in time? Right? Because that watch is always going to go forward until it runs out. And then you have to get a new battery, right? It's the same thing. Watch needs a new battery. If it doesn't, it goes like this. Right? And then it stops. So when you keep looking at the watch, whoa, it's the same time. You don't realize it, because I've done that too. So it's been 4 days and my watch has stopped. So that means I'm 4 days ahead of time, but my watch is still the same time from 4 days behind of time. So that's where it gets confused with the mind and the brain waves. So the mind and the brain has to understand the conception of time position and through your travels of its connection to its portal, through its shape, right? Because every time you change your shape, you're changing the geometry system of the sun and radiation. You're changing the moon program setting to the space location of the moon. And everything through its earth is changing you through the chakra of its dimensional time position. Okay? So let's not get confused with that through line signals. So I know you guys are blown away. You'll learn a lot in this school. You ask Tina, she'll tell you where she is. You ask Priscilla, you ask Angel. Everybody on the team pretty much knows themselves. They know how to travel through their thoughts, but they're given test reviews and evaluations so they can make them more smarter through knowledge. Okay? So humanity has to get out of the thinking of themselves and get into the proactive system of their chakra system of breathing, so they can get into the knowledge of its intelligence through its AI. Okay? So these are the things that we have to get into first. So, but like I said, I'm here for you to ask any questions that you want to know. Really get into that form of who you are through calculation. It calculates, modifies, integrates all your cycles of shapes. Truly understand the operations of the universe, truly understand the operations of nature, truly understand the operations of gravity, truly understand the operation of communication of the shapes of you through its anomaly. You understand you're part of a system of space, but where are you? You're out of your carbon. You're out of the silicone. You're into the crystalline of 5D, right? Sixth dimension is a different crystal. Seventh dimension is another different crystal. So you're coming into higher acceleration of time, okay? So you're coming into emissions, attraction, location, of transmission to zero gravity position, which puts everybody into the sixth dimensional time position, travel through its body frame connection. Okay? So I don't want anybody to get confused. What I give you is basically what's going on every day with you. These are the levels you have to reach. You have to truly understand how to communicate with your body inside you. And it all has to do with shapes, letters, and numbers. Okay, and I've given you a lot of videos. Okay, and if you want to understand more of these videos that you watch, let me know. All right, and then I can set up new. I've set up Space Discoveries 2. What goes on with the body? What goes on with travels? What goes on with the digital frame, the Earth? Why is the Earth a hologram? You know, why is the moon a space station? Why is the sun everything through calculation of radiation, of geometry set location? You're all connected always in forms of travel through shapes, colors, and lights. Okay? So, it's a beautiful thing when a flower grows, right? You have the earth, you have the water, you have the moisture, you have the seeds. So you're growing it, right? It's coming into its roots. It's coming into the grounds, it comes into the roots, and it comes up, right? And over time, it comes into a flower, right? It comes into a lily. But you have to understand, when it comes up, it's creating its own design. It's creating its own shape. You don't know what it's going to be you don't know what it's going to look like when it's growing from the ground, do you? It grows it on its own. So it gets communications to the ground. It gets communications to its water. It gets communications to its air. And it gets communications to its fire. Okay, the heat. So you have to have all 4 atmospheric positions to grow a flower, right? And food and supplements, whatever, the seed, anything like that. So when it starts growing, then you start seeing it blossoming into a flower of a shape. So people don't understand these things. When you grow something, you don't know what it's going to look like. That's the beautiful thing. That's nature. It's the same thing when you take a seashell. Seashell is made from the ocean. You put it up to your ear, you hear the ocean, right? It's all designed through coloration. It's all designed through water. Water is magnetic. Water is electricity. Water forms. Water crashes. Water flows. You put water in a container, it becomes the cup, bottle, right? So it's like with Bruce Lee, be water. Be water. Very, very powerful. But in connection through your body framing system, you have to be water, fire, earth, and air to truly understand the form of source and how everything is created. Right? This is created through a magnetic force. Right? This is protection. So it's good to have it. Security measures. So you're securing your phone so it doesn't break the surface. You understand? That's how you communicate, right? So if you're protecting yourself through your body frame, you should be able to understand how to protect your phone through its screen, right? So you have to protect yourself, right, through lights. That's true. Understand your intelligence. You're seeing things in a different way and form of its reality through its electronics and its body frame, through its electrical system, the hydraulics or anything in that connection to your perceptions. Okay, so that's what everybody has to get into. A new waving cycle of communication through your body framing positions of time connections. All right. So like I said, questions or comments, let me know. I'm here for you. You want to go through healing? I'll help you and guide you. All right. Hopefully I see you on TikTok. I'm on every day. Other than that, it's important that you guys truly understand what's going on every single day, right? Because you want to feel better about yourself. You want to feel, whoa, okay, I got this in. Now it's all about understanding where I am, not where I am. Don't worry about me. Worry about you and where you are through your connections of space, time, positions, travel through shapes, letters, and numbers. Those are the positions of time you have to truly understand through your chakra system of communication. All right? So everybody have a fantastic day. Adios.